temple complex is totally different from previous ones. So we saw built-in temple architecture, but this is monolithic architecture. So entire temple complex, all 5 together, the first one, second one, third, the middle one, the tallest one is the 4th, and 5th one nearby the elephant. All of these 5 temples carved out from one single mountain. And this was derived the art more than 7 generations. During 6th century, the Pallavas invented their time 7 generation. 7 generation, it's like 300 years they spent to make out these carvings from top to the bottom. And each one has different style of architecture. The first one having like a hut type of a temple, madam, and the second one a Dravidian style. The third one having stupa, the Buddhist stupa shrine of architecture. Very last one again Dravidian style, and the 5th one in the middle did it like elephant style. It's called Gaja Prajishta architecture. The backside of elephant is similarly defined it from top to the bottom also. These are 5 temples depicted to the characters of Mahabharata. Each one is depicted to the characters of Mahabharata. The first one is Draupadi Ratha, the second one is Arjun, the third one is the Bhim, the largest one among the 5. The tallest one among the 5 is the elder one, the Yudhishthira, and the 5th one is Nakul Sahadev. They've never been actually in south. These are depiction and imagination carving only. So we're going to start from here and we'll go around and we can exit, sir. So the first temple having the statue of the goddess Parvati. Second, middle, 5th temple, nothing is carved it inside. There is no idol in the sanctum sanctorum. Just they crafted the cave temples, but the statue wasn't installed it inside. The 4th one having the Trinity and having the statue of Ardha Narishwa, Ardha Shiva, Ardha Parvati. So that was described it here. And the statue of Hariharan, of Shiva and of Vishnu has been defined it there. So we'll start from here, sir, and then we go around. So you can visible from here the statue, the goddess Parvati. So here is the goddess, the statue, the Parvati. She's traveling on top of lotus. Another transportation they did the lion on the land. Couple of these temple is unfinished architecture. That's why the Kalash is not filled it up on top, because either it's a monolithic temple also. The Kalash used to be different one. The Kalash is a recognition once the temple is finalized. This used to keep it on top by the manually by the people. So that day will be a big celebration. The temple going to be an active temple. So on that day, that the temple is considered to be a active temple, Kumbha Abhishekam. Either the temple figures may unfinished or may went broken, this won't be fixed on top. So as well, this temple is also, couple of idols is broken because of defeaters between other kings with Narasimha Varman. Because of couple of invaders, they couldn't able to fill it up the temple. So it is unfinished architecture, so that the Kalasham is in the bottom. For the second temple also, it's in the below, it's not kept on the top. And in between to both the temple, you can see the bulls, the vehicle of Shiva. So here they have the statue of the bull. Similar kind of size of bulls you can see in South India in the Brahadishwara temple by the Chola dynasty during 11th century in the place called Tanjavur, and Chamundishwari temple in Mysore also. So here you can see another bull here. And to the second temple, they grind the hole for installing the symbol of Shiva. None of the carving was completed here. It is unfinished architecture, sir. So just they made the sanctum sanctorum, but the statues wasn't completed. So it is actually interconnected between one temple to the other. Because of defeated by Pulikeshi during 12th century, sir. Because of invasion between other kings. So they won't be sustained in same place. They will be goes on capturing other places and moving on to other places, and may other king used to defeat and fought between these kingdoms. That's why it's unable to complete it here. And to the second temple, even they grind the hole for installing the symbol of Shiva, but wasn't completed here. These pillars is just added after 14th century just to support the temple from disasters. Externally, their pillars has been added and made some restoration work here. So it is interconnected. So you can see If you take it out, really dug it out the mud, you can see the connection between one temple to the another temple. It is integrally integrated from one to the another. So they don't have big dynamites and hydraulic systems in those days, but how they break through these mountains, how they extracted these mountains means they used to do it like that. With that small hammer and chisels, they bring the holes in the stones initially. Then they hammer the dry tree woods and then they pour hot water. So hot water can easily absorb by the wood and starts to expand. This process goes like 7-8 months again and again to elaborate the stone. This is how they break the stones in those days without any dynamites. At least rocks takes like 7 to 8 months to do this process, to complete this process. So if you imagine whole temples of Mahabalipuram, period of 7th generation, and when you imagine when it is a size of material, it is supposed to be 3 times taller and 3 times broader. You see, for example, 5 feet of statue is supposed to have 8 feet of material of stone. So when you imagine the stone of material of this temple supposed to be that huge one. And for the third temple, again, they made the bed for Ananta Vishnu. Only you can see the bed for that, but not the statue is completed. And front of pillars is from 6th to 8th century, and behind of pillars is added after 14th century. Just to support this temple, it has been added. You can see they grained the bed, only the bed they did it, but not the statue on top. So every arches, you can see the faces of the Buddha also. So that even Kanchipuram till now, it's specified all 4. Jain Kanchi, Buddha Kanchi, Vishnu Kanchi, Shaiva Kanchi. In one village, you can see Shiva temple as well, Vishnu temple, and Buddhist meditation. So that's why it's called 4 Kanchipurams. So all 4 into one. Sir, you can see here the statue of Shiva, but the hairstyle of Shiva, that's like an Egyptian kind of hairstyle. You can see that, the hairstyle. It's a mean of Egyptian hairstyle, but it's another important meaning. Even Indian kings in those days, they never cut the hairs. To show how they were brave, how they were strong, they have long hairs and long mustache. To cover that, they have a crowns. So that's why I too never cut my hairs. So I have long hairs. So how do I live long? As much how I am strong enough, I have long hairs. Brave enough and strong enough, yes. Yeah. Please come visit, sir. So here's a statue of Hariharan. So in those days, they were followers of Shaivas and Vaishnavas. Even Vaishnavas, they don't go for Shiva temples. Shaivas, they don't go for Vaishnava temples. It was a couple of activities in those days like that. So to make it equal, there was a statue divided here, half Shiva, half Vishnu, which means it's equal proportional between the god of the destroyer and god of the protector. So this is the right side, the Shiva, that represented by the snake on the other side. On left side you see the shell, the conch to blow the wisdom. The half Shiva, half Vishnu. This is the meaning, the name called Hari Haran. Hari Shiva Haran the Vishnu. Half Shiva, half Vishnu. And here there is another beautiful statue which represents the equal proportion, equal rights and powers between the men and women as to be treated equally. They have the statue of Ardha Nareshwara. Here there is a statue of half Shiva, half Parvati. So Shiva given his part of his body to his wife to represent the equal rights between the men and women. So you can see the waist also, they did it like a beautiful curved, like women side hip they did it. On right side you see it's flat. And you see the anklet, nothing on the right. And the taller legs between the men and women, that also you can see. and they have a thin arms. On the right side is much more strong arms. Please notice, gentlemen, on the right side the chick also it's flatter rather than left side is more skinny. Such a beautiful integration they did it in this stone. Because it's out of monolithic carving, they may broken somewhere else, they have to find a big mountain again to make out this temple, because you can't dismantle the rocks between the statues. Might be you've been seeing from Shore Temple towards this place, there is a panel of carving lefted in like a scribbling, you may see that. On the way back also you see that. That is a rough work of Pallava, rough note of Pallava, where they practice the hand before coming to the fair copies. Before coming to the fair mountains, they practiced well in their hand and they came to here. So, such a beautiful impressive architecture, Ardhanarishwara. Please come. So here there is a experimented in the rock where they're showing you how they're breaking the mountains, what I explained to you in a couple of minutes before. This is how they break the stone for extracting the mountains for making temples. So like that, small hammer chisels, they used to drive it through the mountains, then they hammer the dry tree woods and then they pour hot water. So wood absorbs the hot water and it starts to expand the hole. So again they make the chisel, again they put the wood. So this process goes at least like 7 to 8 months to split the rocks. So every part of these mountains you can notice that the markings also you can see. So the rest of the stones from here has been moved to the Shore Temple. The material after extracting moved from here towards the sea to build the temple. All by wooden logs and elephants they moved towards the shore to build remaining the 7 temples there. And here you can see beautifully they define the work of gargoyles. Gargoyles are the water splits out through the mouth of a fish, a mouth of a lion, a mouth of a human face like that in statues. Three of them is broken, but the fourth one is very clear with opening the mouth. Still now when there was a rain, you can see the water travels through all these racks, it will split through the mouth of the statue. Even today you can see this. Such a beautiful engineering system that doesn't have any pipelines here. The water even don't floods out, but it used to travel. Yes, yeah. 300 years old, not 2000 old histories that can hold only India. Yeah.
So what is the language?
This is couple of Pali language, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's been moved from couple of kings from Burma, Bali, like that. It's not really done in by the Pallavas. These are the name and invaders' name. That's all.
Okay.
So they leave something as their remembrance. When people go, they write some things in mountains. So this all by the people of Pulikesi and by invaders between kings of Pallavas. This is actually defeated by the Pulikesi during 12th century with the Narasimhavarman II. And later it was invaded by Vijayanagar from 14th century from Hampi, the king called Krishna Devaraya. So like 3-4 kings, they may coming here. So we can take some couple of pictures from that platform and then we exit to the car. We go to the car, we go to the next place, sir. We see Arjuna's penance and Bata ball. Before the dark, we go there to see the beautiful architecture.